Hello, how are you guys? So today I am going to start the 10th class chapters of Polity NCRT. So here the first chapter is power sharing. Textbook name is Democratic Politics Second. And the contents of this 10th class is here. The first chapter is power sharing. Second chapter, federalism. Third, democracy and diversity. Fourth, gender, religion and caste. Fifth, popular struggles and movements. Sixth, political parties. Seventh, outcomes of democracy. And last, challenges to the democracy. So, the 4 units are there, in which 8 chapters are there, and here our chapter power sharing. So in this chapter, first of all, it's saying about Belgium and Sri Lanka. So Belgium is a small country situated in Europe, and it has borders with France, Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg, Lap, Brussels, Cap Brussels, etc. Then ethnic. The word ethnic means a social division based on shared culture. Okay, ethnic group means a social. It is a social division based on shared cultures. Then usually the Tamil natives of Sri Lanka is called Sri Lankan Tamils. Okay, Tamil natives of Sri Lanka is known as Sri Lankan Tamils, which is 13 percentage of Sri Lankan Tamils are there. And then majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Okay, majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. So, Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948, and Sinhala community is the majority people who are living in Sri Lanka, and Sinhala is the official language of Sri Lanka. So, Sinhala community is the majority people who are living in Sri Lanka, and Sinhala is the official language there. And majoritarianism. It is a belief of majority communities should be able to rule a country by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. So, in the concept of majoritarianism, the majority community should be able to rule a country by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. The distrust between Tamil and Sri Lankan community turned into conflict, soon turned into civil war. So, there was a distrust between Tamil and Sri Lankan community. So, and at last it turned into a conflict, soon turned into civil war, and about thousands people were killed in that civil war, and it was ended in 2009. In Belgium, there is Dutch, French, and German speaking people, and the term civil war, it is defined as a violent conflict between opposing group within a community. So we have here civil war. The term means a violent conflict between opposing groups within a country, and then comes the power sharing. Okay, power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. So, power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. And this type of sharing also leads to the root out of dominitarian systems in our society. The social conflict leads to violence and political instability. Power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. So, friends, it is saying that some of these social conflicts are taking place in our areas, so that these social conflict may lead to violence and also to political instability. So, power sharing is an important tool to ensure the stability of political order. The second reason for why political sharing is good for democracy is that a democratic role A democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. So, usually, a democratic rule involves sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. A legitimate government is one where citizens through participation acquire a stake in the system. So, usually in a democracy or in a legitimate government where the citizens participated and acquire a stake in the system. So, the people who or the citizens are the main stake of a democracy. First set of reasons are prudential and second are moral. So we are now discussing about power sharing. So in some ways it is saying that power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups, and power sharing is good for democracies because it allows a legitimate type of government in which the citizens can participate in a well manner. And some of the reasons of power sharing is important because there are some reasons, that is prudential reasons and moral reasons. The prudential reasons stress that power sharing will bring out better outcomes. So according to the prudential reasons, it is saying that the power sharing will bring out better outcomes, and according to moral reasons, it emphasizes the very act of power sharing as valuable. So the power sharing as valuable tool. And then forms of power sharing. What are the different forms of power sharing? In a democracy, the people rule themselves through institutions of self-government. So, in a democracy, the people rule themselves through institutions of self-government, and everyone has a voice in the shaping of public policies. Every citizen in our society has a voice in the shaping of public policies. Power is shared among different organs of government such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. It is called horizontal distribution of power. So friends, there are mainly two types of distribution of power: vertical distribution of power and horizontal distribution of power. So first of all, it is the horizontal distribution of the power. This type of distribution of power allows different organs of government placed at the same level to exercise different powers. Okay, the power is shared among different organs of government such as legislature, executive and judiciary. It is called horizontal distribution of power. It allows different organs of government placed at the same level to exercise different powers. A system of checks and balances. So friends, the next term is system of checks and balances. Although judges are appointed by the executive, they can check the functioning of executive or laws made by the legislature. This arrangement is called a system of checks and balances. So friends, listen, although the judges are appointed by the executive, they can check the functioning of executive or laws made by the legislature. This arrangement is called a system of checks and balances. Then a power can be shared among governments at different levels. A general government for the entire country and governments at the provincial or regional level. So the power can be shared among governments at the different levels. Sometimes this power can be shared among the regional or local government or state government, central government, etc. The regional level is also called provincial level. Okay, such a government for entire country is called federal government. A federal government is a general government for the entire country, and governments at the provincial and or regional level. Such a government for the entire country is called federal government. And usually India is referred to as a union government or a central government. Okay, in India it is referred as a union government or central government. So in India this term federal government is this term is not used, and instead of the federal government the union government or central government is usually used. The governments at the provincial or regional levels are also called state governments. These are many countries. There are many countries where there are no provincial or state governments. So in some of the countries there is only central government is existed. In India there is both the say state governments and central government is there. There is fundamental division of government. There is federal division of government. Okay, there is in India there is federal division of government. There are levels of government lower than the state government, such as the municipality and panchayat. So in India, like the federal government systems, there are the levels of government lower than the state government, which is known as the municipalities, panchayat, etc. This is vertical division of power involving powers of higher and lower levels of government. So friends, so these levels of sharing of power between state or regional or provincial governments and central government, and also municipalities, panchayat. So this is type of distribution of power in a vertical manner from higher to lower levels. It is referred to as vertical division of power, and the power may also be shared among different social groups such as the religious and the linguistic groups. Okay, so this is referred to as some of the community based governments. Friends, the power may also be shared among different social groups such as religious and linguistic groups. So it is commonly seen in Belgium like countries. For example, community government is existed in Belgium. And the power sharing arrangements can also be seen in the way the political parties, pressure groups, movements control or influence those in power. So the power sharing arrangements can also be seen in the way the political parties, pressure groups, and movements control or influence those in powers. So some of the pressure groups, movements, or political parties are there. They can influence the regional communities, and also the power sharing is acting through them. In the long run, the power is shared among different political parties that represent different ideologies and social groups. In a coalition government, there is also a power sharing. So in India, sometimes the coalition government is formed, so type of power sharing is also taking place there. And different political parties are there in India, so that this type of power sharing is also seen in these political parties. The power is divided, shared between these political parties, and the process of government is going through in such a manner. So friends, it's all about our power sharing chapter of first chapter of 10th class. So thank you friends, have a nice day.